The Phantom Menace opens at midnight.
Place in the Star Wars line.
People started lining up over a month ago.
All right, get out your lightsabers.
You just may have noticed that Star Wars, the latest episode, opens nationally at midnight tonight.
The hype surrounding this movie has been overwhelming. Now the question is, will it deliver?
That was 20 years ago today. Welcome back, Internet. I am the COG, the Cranky Old Geek. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, today marks the 20th anniversary of the release of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And this was a significant event for so many people. I mean, if you're my age, we'll do the cutoff, say 45 or older, then you were at that kind of weird stage when Episode 4 came out. You know, I was 5, so I mean, I could kind of get the gist of it, but I didn't have my own money to go see it. I had to rely on my parents to take me, and I didn't get to see that for a very long time. My introduction to Star Wars mainly came at first from a couple of friends of mine that they had all the damn toys, the big Death Star playset and everything. And, and I read, there were books, there was a comic book series and everything else that I liked. So, I was introduced to Star Wars in that way, but didn't actually see the film until I think I first saw it. It was at somebody's house. It was on HBO, I think. It was on cable. And, I mean, I'm sad to admit that was the first time I actually saw Episode 1, but that was it. And then I got to see Empire in the theater, and and the rest is history. So, for me, being at the ground floor of a release, the beginning of a new Star Wars trilogy from the man himself, George Lucas, that was significant, and damn it, I wanted to be a part of it. But the most significant difference between 1977 and 1999 was in 77, while George and Lucasfilm did wondrous and amazing things by utilizing merchandising and everything else to build hype for the film. In 1999, George had something new. He had the internet. And that made a big, big difference. The internet allowed for every little shred of leaked information. Something that happens commonplace today. Mike Zero puts out 6-7 videos a day on citing leaks for the production of the current movies. Back then, it was a little bit different. We would get these leaks. Somebody would post something that they heard. They posted in a forum, because there wasn't YouTube back then. Most of the communication happened on fan websites and in the forums on websites like theforce.net, for example. So there was still a lot of talk about little bits of information that would come out. The picture, the first promo image, I think, of Darth Maul made everybody go absolutely nuts, as I recall. George Lucas and Lucasfilm leveraged the internet to create web documentaries for the development of Episode 1, and they started filming stuff back in, I want to say it was 94, and that first web doc, that one was probably my favorite, because I'm also a writer, and I'm fascinated with the creative process. And that first web doc, speaking with George Lucas, entitled All I Need Is an Idea, that kind of gave us, just kind of a look into, the process, so to speak, the thinking. We got to see the original notebook that he conceived these things in. There were little screenshots of original outline stuff written on paper, and it was extremely fascinating. And, that type of thing I just love. The months leading up to it, I just got more and more excited. Now, some people were still a little bit jaded with the release of the special edition original trilogy. Obviously, Episode 4 got the most special edition treatment. And on the whole, most people liked most things, but we should have seen the writing on the wall with that one scene. You know the one.
Over my dead body.
Yes, I bet you have.
We should have known that George maybe was a little too enamored with the tools he had for making his films, even though he had said himself that a special effect is a tool, just a means of telling a story. A special effect without a story is just a boring thing, or something very close to that. But that didn't matter for most of us. The hype grew, and opening day came. People had been in lines for 6 weeks. Even before that, when the first teaser trailer came out, they online, I forget exactly which movies it was said it was going to be shown with. There was a list. You could find out which movies the first episode 1 teaser trailer was going to be shown with. People would buy their full price ticket to see this movie, go in, watch the episode 1 trailer, and leave. I mean, up to that point, that was unheard of, so far as I know. That's just how big the hype machine was. And it was just crazy. I worked third shift, so I didn't get to stand in line. It came out on a Wednesday. I got to see it on the following Sunday. I went during the day on my night off, and the lights dropped. Curtain opened. John Williams' theme hit. We got the opening crawl, and like so many other people, I got chills. Holy shit. And then the movie was over. And I remember being at in my seat, and I was excited, but I knew something was wrong. And I couldn't place my finger on it. I wanted to like it. I heard people on the news proclaiming how great it was, how we were going to love it.
It's fantastic. Good special effects, good story. Lives up to the originals.
They're going to love it. They're going to go nuts. It was amazing.
A lot of action, a lot of noise. It was cool.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to walk away disappointed from this movie. It is spectacular. I had a great time watching it, and I'm sure everyone else will too.
I don't know. And then I went to the forums, and there were people that were bad-mouthing Star Wars. Bad-mouthing. A lot of people were hating this movie. They hated Jar Jar Binks. I don't like Jar Jar Binks. I don't know what his purpose was. Later on, we find out, of course, that he's the one that gives Chancellor Palpatine the army. He makes the clone army legal, so in that respect, he's important. But in episode 1, totally stupid. But then there was that other thing that it just pissed people off. It is the episode 1 equivalent to The Last Jedi's Holdo maneuver.
Obi-Wan? Yes, Master. I need an analysis of this blood sample I'm sending you.
Wait a minute.
I need a midichlorian count.
The reading is off the chart. Over 20,000.
Even Master Yoda doesn't have a midichlorian count that high.
No Jedi has.
Midichlorians. Midichlorians has been a hot button point of contention for fans for years. I didn't mind midichlorians that much because I'm a guy that looks for a physical reason for things, and a genetic, scientific reason for strength with the Force, I got behind that, but it destroyed the mysticism of the Force, and it wrecked the Star Wars universe in a lot of people's opinions, much like the Holdo maneuver. With midichlorians, you open up the possibility of creating a genetically modified super force-powered being. I don't know if this was ever explored in any of the Legends books or anything else, but, that's the thing. That's the type of effect something like midichlorians had on the universe. And then it just got worse. From there, people didn't like Anakin. Yippee! People loved Darth Maul, but Darth Maul was only in the movie for 5 minutes, much like another highly hyped character I can think of. But all that being said, I mean, I still enjoyed the movie at the time, even though I had questions at the end. I did buy some merchandise. You know, I got some of you may know about this, the episode 1 collector edition widescreen VHS when it first came out. Had some cool stuff with it. They did cool stuff with the merchandising. I mean, I got my own little piece of episode 1, you know, it was a cool little book that came with it. And then what was really neat to me was it came with a few frames of film. The frames I got were Sebulba during the pod race. So, while it wasn't the earth-shattering event that people were hoping for, and it never was going to be that because of the hype machine that the internet created, that George Lucas created by leveraging the internet to do so. It was never, ever going to live up to the hype. So it was doomed from the start, in my opinion. But it is still significant because it is the beginning of the story of Darth Vader. We all just wish it had been done better. But, I don't know. What do you think? You know, let me know in a comment below about episode 1. Where were you in 1999? What was your first experience with episode 1? Was it on video? Did you catch it in a re-release? Or did they re-release it in theaters? I don't know, because I never went to see it again. But, let me know in a comment below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoy my content, please click that notification bell. And subscribe first, then notification bell. And then if YouTube is working right, you'll know when I put something else out. Thank you for watching. I am the COG, and I am out.